Welcome to another round of coffee and donuts. I'm Frank. I'm the director of law enforcement training here over at ACT. And this is where I answer your questions about becoming a police officer. Let's discuss. Before we get started, if you want your questions answered, you can submit any question you want over on any of our social platforms. We get through to all of them, or you can send it over on our website. It's a little bit more private in our contact form. In addition, we have our blog where we're releasing training every week. You can go check that out. We have our YouTube long form content and our audio podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Yeah, that's right. Now, let's jump in. I have three pre-submitted questions. Let's see what we have. First one. I'm surprised there isn't more content out there on the pre-academy. It's such a huge leg up, and I highly recommend everyone who is offered to take full advantage. Okay, all right, I like this. So what they're talking about is for the pre-academy, they're talking more what's called a pre-hire. So a pre-hire or pre-academy is when a department wants to bring you in, you finished all the hiring aspects prior to the start of the academy, and they want to bring you in. To kind of piggyback on what this individual's question states or statement has here is first, not every department will offer that, right? Some will say, hey, this is your start date. It's going to be a week prior to the academy, what have you. Now, other departments that are getting smart and understanding that, hey, I don't want to lose a good candidate that we got hired to another department are doing what's called a pre-hire or pre-academy, which means they're hiring you, they're bringing you on board a month or two before the academy starts, maybe a couple weeks. It just depends on the department. And they're going to have you doing admin work and maybe ride-alongs here and there and things like that. And make no mistake, this is 100% for the department's benefit, not the candidate. It just benefits the candidate too. Why does it benefit the candidate? It benefits the candidate because you start your time, your counter for any of your probationary period, any of your benefits, your retirement, all of that starts from the date in which you were hired and you came on board. The next component to it is you are 100% getting paid already. So you're there, you're working, your title is whatever you were hired as, police recruit, whatever. However, you just haven't left for the academy yet. And you get to learn about the department and learn, ins and outs and the politics of it. And it gives you a leg up. So when you go to the academy and you come back, you can kind of hit the ground running because you got a better feel of everything. Now, it benefits the department for the sheer fact of what I stated earlier. They brought you on board. They know you're locked in. They know you're not leaving. If you were to leave after they brought you on board and you accepted a final offer for another department, just know you burned a really big bridge there that could come back to potentially bite you later on in your career. So just keep that in mind. So they pretty much know that they have you locked in, you signed a contract, and at this point in time, if you were to break it, some of them, if you sign a contract and you're getting sponsored through the academy, through the department, you sign a contract that says you're liable for the cost if you don't complete it. And what I mean by that, it's not if you fail out, but if you leave, if you resign prior to the department. So if you say, hey, I haven't even started the academy. Yeah, but you took that billet and there was money spent and they put that money down to have you in that academy class. And if they can't fill that billet, you might be liable. If you finish the academy and then you're an FTO or you just finish FTO and say you signed a 3-year contract to go to the academy and you don't honor it, you might be liable for paying back a prorated amount of what the academy would have cost over the course of those 3 years. So keep that in mind. But yes, it is a great option out there. Sometimes it's called pre-hire, sometimes it's called pre-academy. But you should always take as if you done it or if you done it? No, that's not right. If you have if you have actually followed our procedures for applying and you applied to your top three agencies and you actually identified them by doing a department audit, you would accept the first one that makes you an offer because you've already walked through those procedures and you already know all three of these are a good fit for you. So there's that one. All right, next one. What about situations where you supposed to say where you were detained but not arrested? You will. This is in reference to background. You would 100% have to list that. So once again, you would list it as a detainment. You would articulate the facts. Be specific. Don't elaborate here. Right? Stick just to the facts, not hearsay. Don't say anything you can't prove where you were targeted or anything like that. We have ways and questions of asking you where we can come to that same conclusion if that's what you truly feel. But if you were just detained, you would list it as a detainment. I was detained at XYZ location at this time and date for this reason. They determined that I was not the individual they were looking for. They released me, no further law enforcement interaction. And that's what you would say. 100% you would have to list it unless they specifically tell you otherwise, or it's outside the time frame that they tell you to list. It's just going to depend. Make sure you read the directions. All right, last one. Just had my background interview, and the outcome was very vague. Is it supposed to be? Yes. A lot of departments are by law not required to disclose anything about the hiring process and about the way they've come to their determination, or share any police procedures. And hiring law enforcement officers is considered a police procedure. So it is very common, and you're not the only one. Most candidates will have this same aspect. Hey, I finished up my background. I have no idea. They just said we'll be in contact soon, or just keep an eye out on your emails, something super vague like that. Or they might even just say, hey, that's it for now. Hope you have a good day. I mean, and you're sitting here wondering, actually, I just got done doing another video for this about how departments can be better and get better candidates by being more open and communicative to their applicants. But that being said, yes, that's pretty common. Big thing is just look for a success indicator somewhere in there while you're taking the interview or doing the evaluation, and then look for success indicators afterward. Obviously, if they send you an email saying, hey, please schedule your polygraph, or you start hearing after you completed your interview that they're contacting references, that's a success indicator that you made it through your background interview. So keep that in mind. I hope this helps. Remember, if you want your questions answered, send them over to us. You can send us a question on any of our social platform. We answer all those. Or you can send us a question privately over on our website, on our contact form. That's at armageddonct.com. Don't forget about our blog out there. Everyone stay safe, and I will see you next time.